guys, it's Reagan and welcome back to another video. I'm here with a very special guest, my husband,
Clay.
Yes, everyone. That's right. We're doing our yearly tradition of Clay goes out and buys me a book haul. It's one of our favorite videos to film every year, and I'm always so grateful with how thoughtful Clay is with all of his selections. He even wraps them up, and I must say, Clay, this year's wrapping paper, 10 out of 10. Huge fan. But before we dive into the books themselves, first a word from this video's sponsor, which is Curology. Hi guys, I'm so excited to say that this video is sponsored by Curology. We truly love Curology so much in this house. I quite literally use them morning and night, and Clay also uses their products, so like again, we're big stans of Curology. But if you're not familiar, Curology is the leader in made-for-you skincare. They really combine elements of convenience and high-quality products. Through their site, you're able to shop a plethora of skincare items, from cleanser to moisturizer, pimple patches, barrier balms, and all of these things can be sent directly to your door. But on top of that, you're also able to work directly with the dermatology provider to gain access to skincare items with active ingredients, target things like acne or fine lines and wrinkles. I have been using a retinoid-based product from Curology now for over a year, and it has truly transformed my skin. And obviously, with the holiday season upon us, my skin is definitely reacting in some very specific ways. Chillier temperatures have definitely dried out my skin even more, and just like the general holiday stress, I love this time of year, but it's busy, has caused me to have a few stress pimples that I feel like I'm constantly dealing with. Luckily, I have two of my favorite products from Curology to help me out. First, I have the emergency spot patch, which I love to apply to any pesky pimple that just will not go away. And then I also have the barrier balm, which I adore. I use this like basically every day over the summer when I had contact dermatitis. But now that the weather is getting chillier, I get these like weird scaly dry patches, and I love to use this for that. Also, if you get like chapped skin, again, if you're outside and it's very, very cold, this is so handy for that. Per usual, I do have a very special offer code with Curology if you're wanting to try them out. You're able to get your first box for just $15. Plus, they will also include 2 free gifts, which is just amazing and very much in line with the holiday spirit, if you ask me. Thank you again to Curology for sponsoring this video. I love you guys so much, and I love your products. But without further ado, let's dive back into the book haul. Okay, I'm honestly so excited to begin unwrapping these books and seeing what you picked up. But before we do that, you chat through your kind of shopping process, your approach, if you will.
So this year I wanted to stick to one key theme.
Oh,
which was no books under 4 stars on Goodreads.
Incredible.
So I want to make sure they're all good. Normally I do check to make for sure nothing is bad rating, but sometimes I'd go beyond that. There's a handful of books I thought were good, but they didn't fit that threshold, so I didn't go through with those ones. Also, I generally know what you like to read and what you have read, so I tried to pick things that I think would interest you, but a few things that are maybe not exactly what you read, but I think you'd still be interested in. Last, I was going through your Goodreads a lot to make for sure I wasn't buying anything that you had already read. I do see something on your bookshelf that I did buy.
That's okay.
And we'll still go through with that one, but you told me to buy 5 books, and I bought 6 in case I had a double.
A backup.
I have a backup.
Prepared man.
One last thing is I bought a lot of books that were published in 2024 because I thought I'd be less likely to...
New releases.
They're not all new releases, but I think the majority of them are, because you'd be less likely to have read them and probably less likely to own them.
Perfect.
Those are the big things that I tried to do when I was looking for those books.
I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and dive in. Start with book number 1.
All right. So I know you love fantasy.
Okay.
So this first book is a fantasy. If I am right what book this is, because I've somewhat forgotten all the books and what I wrapped. But this first one's a fantasy.
Okay.
Takes place in London.
Ooh.
And it's a magical investigator.
Oh, say less. I love all of those things. And I really love this wrapping paper. Can we buy more to like wrap?
It cuts so well too.
It is so cute. This, and then the other one has like little cars on it. I'm obsessed. I know that is not the point of the video, but I love this wrapping paper. It just was really putting me in the holiday spirit. But let's open this book. I'm so excited. I love literally all of those things.
Are you familiar with the series?
I feel like I've seen this before, and just like looking at it, it's giving definitely something I would be interested in. But the book is called Rivers of London. But tell me what it's about, because I'm already very interested based on the cover alone.
I think this is the only series that I bought within this entire set of books. I didn't want to sign you up for a bunch of different series, but within this book, I think it takes place in the past. Based on synopsis, it's a little bit hard to tell, but I think it's a little bit of a love letter to London, but it's essentially a young police officer joins the Metropolitan Police Department. I think he's the first English wizard in over 70 years.
Oh, he's a wizard?
And he investigates magical crimes. And one of the other things, back to the Goodreads ratings, when I was picking out a series, I wanted to make for sure all the books had high ratings and it wasn't like a good start and a slow end. And I think this is actually one of the lower rated ones, still over 4 stars, and the rest are all really highly rated as well. And I think it's somewhat playful and fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
I love a whimsical, like, mystery of the week style story. I love mysteries and investigations too, especially ones that are like playful but clever. And I feel like given that this has a magical element, it feels definitely right up my alley. Clay and I love to watch a British television show together, so I feel like this is sort of in line with a lot of the TV we have been watching recently. But I love the idea of this guy having to become, like, transitioning from a detective to like a wizard apprentice, which is what it says in the synopsis. And I love the cover. This definitely sounds like something I am super excited to pick up. So like 10 out of 10, fantastic pick. We're off to a perfect start, to be honest. Perfect start, Clay. Book number 2.
I'm less confident I know which one this is, but I'm pretty sure this book is takes place over a long period of time.
Oh, I love those.
It's multiple different perspectives. They're all connected by river and water. Also, River Thames is in this book as well.
Okay.
But it's not all England, London. I'm reading a book right now called Northwood, which has a similar perspective. I also read a very long time ago Cloud Atlas that has a bunch of perspectives over time.
Tied together.
I really like those type of stories, and I believe you do too. I don't think there's any element of fantasy or magic or anything within those.
Say a similarity that Clay and I both hold is this sort of like plots that have an interwoven element, and like that's why I got you to read Station 11 and like some of these other books too. So that's something we both really appreciate as like a storytelling device, if you will. Well, this sounds great. I'm sad to rip this paper though because I love it.
That's the book.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. There Are Rivers in the Sky. It's a hardcover, new release. Pretty cover too, I must say.
So at a high level, I was a little bit wrong about the Londons. There are multiple characters that are taking place in London, one way back in the past, one pretty much in the present. There are characters in Turkey, and I think there's a tie back to like ancient times as well, based on rereading the synopsis. This, I think, is one of the highest rated books in the bunch.
Okay.
It's newly released and seems to have gotten a lot of great positive feedback.
Yeah. It basically follows like a variety of characters in different points in time, and there seems to be a common thread of them all existing near a river specifically. And also the poem of Gilgamesh ties them all together somehow. It says, a dazzling feat of storytelling is a rich, sweeping novel that spans centuries, continents, cultures, entwined by rivers, rains, and water drops. I love that there seems to be some sort of like consistent narrative thread of water specifically. I think that sounds really interesting, and I'm really curious to see how that's going to like occur, you know? But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. And a lot of the blurbs on the back are from some of my favorite authors too, Ruth Ozeki specifically. So I'm excited. Thank you, Clay. Moving on to book number 3.
Oh, that's not the book. I was wrong. Redoing book 3 because I didn't know.
So why did you grab this book?
This book is probably furthest from Reagan's taste.
Oh, okay.
There are 2 mystery books in this set. And within this one, there's actually kind of 3 if you consider the magical police officer.
Yeah.
Within this one, it is a contemporary book. It's a mystery.
Okay.
And it has some really interesting components to it. There's like a fake Netflix documentary that the book is kind of following within narratively.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, I've heard about this book before. Did you? Okay. So this is Lisa Jewell. None of this is true. So Jordan, who is a friend of ours who loves thrillers, and this is a thriller. Lisa Jewell's a very famous thriller writer. She was reading a Lisa Jewell book in Vermont, and it sounded wild. So I'm curious to check this out for myself.
I think it takes place about 2 women that were born on the same day, learning about each other. The secret gets darker and darker, and as she's learning about it, the main character, Thread or whatever, is getting closer and closer to her as well.
Oh, and the basic setup is it's like our main character, who's a podcaster, who's like a local podcaster, runs into another woman who's unassuming at a pub and begins to like interview her for her podcast, but then they begin to realize they have like really strange mirroring of each other's lives, and I think it begins to sort of spiral from there. I know Lisa Jewell specifically is known for doing some like really wild and unexpected twists that almost lean more in the psychological aspect, which I think is pretty curious. I think the idea of like meeting a stranger who has the exact same life as you sounds a little creepy. So I feel like this will definitely be a page turner. Thank you, Clay.
Book 4. Book is a book Reagan owns. And when I came across it in the bookstore and read the synopsis, I thought, this is an incredible book. It is exactly what Reagan would like to read. It's cozy core.
Oh.
It's fantastical. It's, I think, a romantasy.
I see.
Open it up and I'll go a little bit more in detail.
I like the use of washi tape.
I use that tape so I could remind myself that that's the book that you
I already own. It's the Spell Shop. Well, you were right that I've even read this. I really
you've read it?
I read it too.
Well, it's
I read
not
it
on your Goodreads.
I just recently read it. It was a recent read, and it was really cute, very cozy. It basically follows our main character, who is like this librarian, and she's very introverted. And then once the big city she lives in is like under attack, she flees this library, goes back to her family's like hometown that she hasn't been back to in a long time, and she begins to like revitalize the family home. She begins to make jam. It has a magical twist. She has a talking plant assistant. It's all very cute and very fun, and this is a really popular release from this year. And yeah, it's definitely worth the read. I really liked it. So you were spot on thinking I would like this book, because I did, in fact, really like this book. You did a good job still.
Book number 5. So this book is a mystery that takes place in like post-World War I in Texas. It's described as like a dark Gothic mystery.
I love a Southern Gothic book. Okay, let me open it up. I'm excited about this. Gothic is always like one of my favorite genre buzzwords. Oh, this wrapping paper is serious. Ooh, wow, that is a cool cover. It's called Hollow Out the Dark by James Wade. That's giving spooky vibes. Stunning in its language and moving in its effect. Read this book and prepare to be amazed.
So the main character is a veteran of World War I. He comes back to his town in Texas. His friend is getting caught up in some criminal activity.
Oh, okay.
There's a mystery element to it. It is dark Gothic. And he's kind of navigating this new world. And winter's coming.
Resources are scarce. They're set in a small town, so like there's an element of survival, I guess, and also just like the setting of it is like quite important to the plot. This sounds really interesting. It also sounds like something you would really like. Clay, like lots of men out there love a World War I, World War II inspired-esque story. I think this is especially interesting because it is set in Texas. We're obviously both from Texas, and the Gothic, Southern Gothic element of this sounds quite intriguing to me.
Must be a different part of Texas because winter never comes here.
That's true. Maybe it's like the Panhandle. Regardless, should be interesting. Book number 5.
Book number 5 takes place in a magical school. Who doesn't like a magical school?
I love a magical school. Honestly, say no more. I'm interested in this. In correction, this is actually the 6th and final book. So this is the last book of the haul. Ooh, oh my gosh, wait. This was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Ooh. This just came out. Sorry, excited. The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Perry. Fae-centered story with a magic school, with academic competition, with all types of drama, magical rivalry, there's danger. I believe it's also set in like the turn of the century. I'm so excited.
It's placed in 1920s England, which there's a theme. I'm like in the 20s a lot.
In England. In England.
A lot. And in England. Reagan loves London, so there you go.
That's true.
It takes place at a secret magical academy. The main character, she's there to discover a cure for a magical ailment that her brother had during World War One. There's definitely a theme going on there across my books. And probably there's going to be elements of London as well.
Ooh. I think like in her pursuit and search for this cure, she gets wrapped up with these like very powerful, very well-connected individuals at this academy, opening doors for her that she never really imagined, but also opening like all new danger, all different types of intrigue, like who can she trust, you know, like those types of things. Again, Fae, Magical Academy, very curious about this. I love that it's set in the 20s. I am thrilled to have this. I think this might be my favorite of the haul. I'm excited to read all of them, but this obviously, like, this was on my to be buy list. So like you knocked a book off the to be buy list. I always feel like it's risky to buy fantasy because obviously I'm always reading and buying fantasy books. So I appreciate that you went out on a limb with this one because you were so right that I wanted it and I wanted to read it. So incredible. Look at all these books. I'm so excited to read all of them. Thank you so much, Clay.
You're welcome. I'm glad you liked it. Well, I'm glad you liked them so much.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, that is the end of the Husband Buys My Book haul for this year. Thank you again so much to this video's sponsor, which is Curology, and I will see you soon with another video soon. Goodbye.
Bye.